Good morning and welcome to the January 18th, 2022 special meeting for the Cottage Grove Convention and Visitors Bureau. At this time, we'll take a roll call. Jamie?
Chairman Dennis,
Here?
Vice Chair Olson,
Here.
Director Costello,
Here.
Director Levine, Director Patel.
Thank you. So as we do not have a full quorum at our meeting today, we will not be doing any votes. We will be receiving information and providing some feedback and looking forward to getting some good information this morning. So as we move forward, item number 3 is adoption of the agenda. And again, we have our agenda here. We'll move past that. Item 4 is approval of minutes. Any feedback that we want to provide on any of the minutes? Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward on that. Item 5 is business items. Julie will help us with this. We're going to start out with 5.1, which is the website and social media performance metrics.
Good morning. Roger Sievers with Sievers Creative. I'm going to present on some of the findings that we've had for the past year on the website and some of the advertising and marketing. We launched the website in December 2020. It was really, as you all are well aware, a brand new initiative, and so there was a lot of planning to do. But in April, we really kind of kicked off the website with a marketing campaign that came through, I believe, dollars from the Explore Minnesota grant, I believe, if that was correct. And so prior to that, we really didn't have a lot of website traffic. I wouldn't say that it was a billboard on the moon, but it was brand new and there wasn't much awareness. So we really started seeing the results come through when we started that social media campaign. What you'll see here on screen is the first campaign that ran from April 1st through October 31st, delivered just under 500,000 ad impressions when an ad displayed on Facebook, and then just under 18,000 clicks. And so those were clicks to the website and clicks where people would click on the read more option if they wanted to read all of the text. This initial campaign was kicked off with the sweepstakes giveaway, if you recall, that we offered a stay in Cottage Grove with a hotel stay and some restaurants and a few shopping items. And so I'll get into some of the results of that campaign, but that's how it kicked off. You can see the breakdown by demographic on each of the slides as I go forward. The age range and the gender based off of how many ads were delivered to that particular segment. Here's a sample of some of the creative that we've ran throughout the past year. As far as targeting, one of the reasons that digital marketing is so effective is we can target any type of geography or behavior / interest online. And so here's a sampling of some of the targeting that we've done. The targeting changed by some of the messaging, what the ad was based off of. But in general, we targeted a 45-mile radius excluding Cottage Grove. And then depending on the ad creative at the time, we would choose interests that were appropriate. So if there was a kayaking ad, we would target people who were interested in outdoor recreation, those types of things. During the giveaway, we targeted people who were interested in day travel or day trips, restaurants, dining, local travel, wedding planning, and then one of the biking ads that we delivered, I believe in September-ish, we would target people who are interested in biking. So basically, we would take whatever the ad messaging was and align the targeting with that ad messaging. The results of that first social media campaign, the list has continued to grow due to Julie's efforts with blogging and some of the good work that she's done on the website. But I believe we ended up somewhere around 500 people that signed up to the newsletter for the contest giveaway, which is a pretty good start to a list, I would say. And so that list is going to continue to grow. It will, over the course of the next couple of years, become a really valuable source of reaching out to people who already have an interest in Cottage Grove or have expressed an interest by signing up. So that'll be a good marketing asset moving forward. Starting in June 1st, we added a secondary social Facebook campaign on social media campaign where we just really had two different campaigns running side by side, and oftentimes had separate messaging targeting different different audiences. With this particular campaign, from June 1st until now, we delivered 760,000 ad impressions, right around 20,000 clicks. You can see the demographic breakdowns as well. I'm going to kind of roll this up here at the end too, just so you know. Starting in November, instead of having two social media campaigns running side by side, and the strategy, a burden that it put on Julie to come up with two different audiences, two different messages each time, we added in more of a general awareness campaign. It's a display ad, a banner ad campaign, similar targeting, targeting the 45-mile radius of Cottage Grove, excluding Cottage Grove. For anybody who is not familiar, it's display ads, it's banner ads that you would see on the different news websites and mobile apps that you would use. So you can see on here a handful of different apps, Star Tribune, TwinCities.com, reputable websites. Is the only inventory that we purchased, but. Then that again is based on behavior. People who are online reading about local tourism, shopping, local shopping, restaurant reviews, those types of things, put them in the target to receive those ads. Little under 150,000 ad impressions, ads that were delivered, 260 clicks. Those will be clicks directly to the website, and then engagements measures when somebody interacts with the ad in some fashion. So they would hover over the ad with their mouse, something that's trackable. So it's a way of measuring the effect of a display ad, which is meant to be visual, is meant to be seen. View through is a metric. There's not huge numbers here just because of the size of the campaign. But we have a tracking script that's installed on the Cottage Grove website, on the Discover Cottage Grove website. And it tracks when people see the ad, if they come back to the website from some other channel. So they might have seen the ad and then searched up Cottage Grove and then came another way without clicking on the ad. So it's a way of measuring the impact of consumers that have seen the ad. Google Analytics is kind of what we use as a compass to measure all of the different channels of marketing and how things are performing. You can see this is from December 2020 all the way up until January 11th of 22. You'll see that there really was not much traffic in those first few months until April kicked on, and that's where you see the website traffic really start to peak up. We had a lot of interest right at first with the giveaway, and it kind of went to kind of tapered off, and then towards September. There was a couple bike park ads that just performed phenomenally well. They just really, I wouldn't say they went viral, but they were shared and commented and liked, and there was just really a lot of engagement to those ads. And so that's why you'll see the peak up in September, and that also correlates with another a trend right around the Halloween time. Julie had done some blogs and some events on the site that really got some good attention or some good engagement out of the search engines. And a lot of that had to do with the excitement and buzz around Zivix and the haunting experience around that time. People are searching for it and obviously would find the Discover Cottage Grove site and get some of the information that way as well. So the combination of the bike ad and those the Halloween posts on the site really kind of increased that traffic during that time period. To kind of give you, an idea of the website traffic as a standard, like a lot of the, out of 16,300 visitors, I think we have 12,700 of them attributed to the marketing and advertising that we did. So without any of those advertising dollars that were poured into Facebook and display, we would have wound up with around that 3,000, 4,000 visitors for the course of the year. So statistically speaking, the marketing really had a really good impact on what we saw on the site. And it's relatively necessary when you have a brand new initiative like this where there isn't much awareness or brand recognition, so to speak. So all in with all of the display ads, the Facebook ads, in 2021 we had 1.4 million ad impressions that were delivered and about 42,000 ad engagements. And so the engagements we include clicks to the website, anytime that somebody hovered over the ad and or interacted with the Facebook ad by clicking to read more or looking at the image in a blown up fashion. So with that, I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Roger. I have a quick question for you. When we look at the measurement that you had, was it 2.99% on one of the previous slides of engagements?
Yep.
Okay. How does that measure? Is there some type of an industry standard or expectation that when you put one of these programs together that you'd like to hit a given number? What would that number be?
For engagements, not really, because there's such a wide variation on even in the tourism realm industry. Somebody could be giving away, a free package. Somebody could it could be a general awareness ad. So the engagement really is hard to measure. The click-through rate has been fairly standardized. And so I would say, I think Google says that 0.1 is kind of the industry average across all sectors. So it's a really broad number, and it doesn't really give us any specific indicator. But we use the 0.1 mark as if it falls below that, we feel like we're starting to, lose. There's something that needs to be changed, essentially.
Okay,
So
so that we've got a measurement higher than that shows that we're doing pretty well.
yes, for the display portion of it. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Any questions for group? No? Okay. Well, thank you, Roger. We
Perfect.
appreciate your presentation this morning.
Absolutely.
All right, and moving along to number 5.2, which is the visitor guide. And Julie will help us with this one.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm just gonna go through here a little bit. I will be speaking about the long-awaited and much anticipated visitors guide for our Convention and Visitors Bureau. A little bit of background about the guide that we have talked about in our previous meetings. We've seen some previous layouts for weddings and Halloween and holidays, and I'm just gonna walk us through a few more layouts, talk about sort of my design process and what I was thinking and how some of the feedback that I've received from our previous meetings was incorporated into the guide. So here you will see our cover, and if you'll notice, this is Steve from Seavers Creative. Steve joined Director Costello and Director Wolf last summer on a day-long photo shoot, showcasing some of the highlights of Cottage Grove. And what I was looking for in a cover photo was something high quality that was a necessity, but some of the things that I wanted were some action shots that we have talked about before in our previous meetings, and something that showcased what we did or what we offer in Cottage Grove. So if you look at a lot of other convention and visitors bureaus, they often have like an aerial shot of their city, maybe the river or Lake Superior or something like that. But talking about how we really wanted some of those action-oriented photos of things people could do. That's what I was looking for. And being in Minnesota, it's easy to put a winter photo up on the cover, but I did want a summer or a spring photo because I really think that's more attractive and people look forward to that and highlighting some of those activities in the summer. So we went with Steve kayaking at Hayes and P. Moore's Park here on the Mississippi. I did want to showcase our lodging facilities in a prominent area. This is right when you open the cover. You will see our lodging facilities. Of course, we wouldn't be here without them. So we have some nice attractive photos of their facilities along with a list of their different features and amenities that each of them offer. The table of contents here isn't a very exciting page, but it does sort of depict how I laid out the guide. Previous meetings we had talked about a seasonal flow of the catalog. So you'll see here I sort of broke down each section and then on top of it, spring, summer, summer, fall, fall, winter. I didn't want to pigeonhole one season, so I kind of did both. And then you'll also see that, we have these year-long things like getting married and let's meet. Those were important pieces in our marketing plan. And so I'll kind of talk about that a little bit later too. River Oaks, right after the table of contents, River Oaks is our main spread. There's 2 pages dedicated to them as they have a lot to offer. They're such a nice facility within Cottage Grove. We sort of do a high-level overview in this spread of everything that they have to offer. Golf, the top tracer range within the golf course. We list their amenities, the restaurant Eagles Bar and Grill. You can get married there, you can play bigs, you can do bocce, sort of this umbrella of things that happen. But throughout the guide, you will also see them sprinkled along as they have a lot to offer. So, like Roger mentioned, our bike park ad did very well online and there was a lot of interest. And so when I showcased our parks in the guide, I did want to make sure that we showcase that really visibly. I know that when I went to go take photos there one day in the summer, it was like a Wednesday morning and there were already some gentlemen there, biking and practicing, and I said, "Where are you from?" And they were like from 2 hours away in southern Minnesota. So I do really think that it's such a unique thing that we have in Cottage Grove for people to come and visit and participate in. And they were just kind of having a day off and they were going to spend the night and just bike and practice their moves because there was no place around them that had that. So I wanted to feature that in one of our park pages. And then you'll also see that in the next spread of the guide, I did highlight Woodridge, our all-inclusive playground, which is one of the largest in the state as well. Each park that I have listed here lists their features inside of them. So if you're looking for a baseball diamond or a soccer field or a grill or a picnic table, you'll be able to see what that particular park offers and help you decide where you want to go that day. This spread for Strawberry Fest, one thing that I noticed in other convention and visitors bureaus in their guides is many of them, talk about their shopping and dining. And while I did touch on a few of those in our guide, our community is, we boast a lot about, we're next to the big cities, but we still have this small town feel. And our town really enjoys these community events. And so I did highlight and showcase that here. The Strawberry Fest is the largest one that we have in Cottage Grove in the summer, but it also plays into the Halloween things that we have going on and the different holiday activities we have going on as well. So I think that is really sort of unique for Cottage Grove, that we have this real community feel, and we want to showcase that and include people to come to that as well. So you'll see Strawberry Fest is showcased here, and then in previous meetings we've seen the Halloween and holiday layouts. So here we have some of our memorable meeting spots in Cottage Grove. In our marketing plan for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we did highlight that as one of our goals. We wanted to become a destination of choice for different sporting events and meetings and conventions. And so I wanted to list here many of the places that we offer where people can come and host their meeting or host their hockey tournament or their unique event that they have going on here. You'll see that this is a circus-themed event at Ferber Farm. And, you can see that people are already coming in from other towns hosting their events here because we have the space, we have beautiful facilities, we have historic facilities, we have modern facilities, so many options to choose from. So it kind of gives them the lowdown on what they could be looking for if they're looking for a boardroom or if they're looking for enough space to hold a circus. So. And that being said, too, I just wanted to note as well that I know Vice Chair Olson and many of us have discussed before about the importance of diversity in our photos. And I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but I really did try to include diverse photos that weren't stock images, ones that we had taken ourselves or of our community to showcase our growing community. And I feel like I did weave those in. I'm proud of that, especially since we are just sort of getting going on gathering our photo database. So you'll see as you look through the guide that there are many photos, including different ages, different races, different abilities, things like that in our guide. So this is just sort of a fun little slide that I popped in here. We have proofed this many times over, and we are going to continue to do so until we go to print. But you'll see I took a little snapshot of my folder here of all the copies I've received from others of their notes and things like that. But I did want to say that we've had Parks and Recreation staff and other staff who sit on committees such as the Strawberry Fest and the Canadian Pacific Holiday Train committees review this information, make sure it's accurate and up to date, which I'm very thankful of their feedback as well. Not having a year under my belt here yet, it has proven to be very valuable. So I did want to mention as well, last week we had one additional advertiser reach out to us hoping to place an ad. I did want to accommodate that request. So total, we have 11 advertisers in our guide. This reaches just over $6,000 to help us offset the cost of printing. We did have to adjust some layout to accommodate that, but I think that we've done a good job with that. I think that I have gone over everything that I wanted to address, but if you have any questions, I will stand for questions.
All right, well, thank you so much. When we look at the the document as is this going to be the actual size, 8.5 by 11?
No, it will not be. That's a great question. Yeah, that is from just the printer that I printed off quickly. It will be 7.25 by 9.5.
Okay, which seemed to be a little bit more standard to what I see.
Yeah.
When we think about, at a future point here, points of distribution for this, are we thinking about what type of mechanism or device or holder or a little stand or whatever that we could use to provide these to people? If it goes a new business, maybe it's a clear acrylic holder, with our logo on the front or something like that. Have we put any thought into that yet?
We've put some thought into where we want to place the catalog or the guide, and how we will distribute it. But the stand specifically, we haven't. So that's great feedback, and we can do some research into that.
Okay. So I guess I would just lead out by saying that I think you've done an incredible job up to this point in putting this whole thing together. And, you bring up the fact that you haven't been here a year yet, but I bet you could be more of a tour guide for people than maybe even some of us that have been here for 20, 30, 40 years or more. It's really amazing when you look at the totality of opportunities that we have in this city. And there were certain things we didn't even touch on in this, but it's quite impressive, and I hope that the work that's done in portraying this will reach out and speak to people in different places, that they will want to come here and spend some time and hopefully some money here in the community. So I also want to mention very quickly that as Councilmember Olson had mentioned in previous discussions about making sure that we did, utilize photographs that demonstrate, who we are as a community. That was very, very evident to me as I started looking through this, so I think it's really a great job that's been done. So with that feedback, I will open that up if there's anyone else that would like to add. Director Costello.
I think this is great, having been involved when it was an initial thought. To see it actually start to come to fruition is fabulous. I remember this very hot day. So I think as we continue down the road and get more photos, as future guides come along, we'll even have a bigger library. I know that's something formerly Director Wolf and I always discussed, that we didn't have those action shots. So I think it's great. So thank you.
All right, thanks for that. Vice Chair Olson.
Thanks for the presentation. Thanks for all the hard work. Looks really nice. Couple things that I really appreciate about the formatting is the different use of fonts to highlight certain things. I'm that guy whose eye tends to catch that stuff, and when something looks out of place, it bothers me. I don't know if that's ADD, ADHD, or just DNA, but you did a nice job of sort of softening the font in some spots, etc. On that note, the page where you've got the mayor's commentary, if you think about the actual size of this guide, this font is already a little bit small, and when you shrink it down, it's going to become even smaller. And for some of us folks on the other side of 50, that's not always the easiest thing in the world to read. Now, one thing that I notice is on the pages where you've got verbiage that is offset on a white page, it stands out pretty well. Looks good. But on this page with the mayor's information, it's kind of against a more natural hue, that blue and sort of yellowish, and it doesn't quite pop as much. So I'm not sure what you could do to fix that other than, bolding the font or increasing the size of the font. There's a lot there too, so obviously to get it to fit on the page is going to be a little challenging, so maybe there's some editing that could be done. But it's just something I wanted to mention that stood out to me personally. I don't know if it matters to anybody else, but there's a lot of words, and they're a little bit hard to see. With respect to the pictures, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I certainly was going to. I actually counted the number of pictures that you utilized that were, kind of focused on that diversity element of our community, and you did a really nice job with that. And I appreciate that you did not use stock photos, because I was afraid that might happen. So you definitely thought of everything there. This is a really nicely put together document. I think, the fact that you've run it through the mill with a lot of different departments is a good thing to gather some additional feedback. Out of curiosity, and this might sound like a really stupid question, but has Jen had a chance to look at this yet and gone through it?
She has many times.
Okay, good. I figured that was the case, but being that, communications is her title, I just wanted to make sure that there was a partnership there. But beyond that, I just think it's a really nice product. You can tell that there was a lot of hard work that went into this, a lot of care. I mean, it's very meticulous what you did. As I mentioned earlier, not everybody's going to say, "Hey, great fonts," but that's the sort of professionalism that you get with somebody such as yourself, who's going to notice those things. And the best thing in the world that can happen is somebody looks at this and just says, "Wow, it looks good," and they don't find anything weird. I tried my best. I didn't see any spelling errors anywhere, any punctuation errors anywhere. I'm not an English teacher, but I did my best. I mean, beyond what I just mentioned with respect to the mayor's page, I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair Olson. Anything else? All right. Julie, wonderful work, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving along to item 6, other business. 6.1 is comments here from the panel this morning. Are there any comments that we would like to share at all? Nothing? All right. 6.2 is previous response to comments. We don't have anything listed. And before we adjourn, I'll make a quick mention that the next meeting we'll have, it'll be a full meeting, will be on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022 at 7:30 a.m. right here at City Hall Council Chambers. And with that, again, since we're not doing any votes or anything, I will simply make a statement that we will be adjourning. Everyone have a wonderful day.